Good morning to you, our audience. Ted and Ed TV channel welcome each of you to our weekly Saturday broadcast where we give insightful views on economic, political, world, and environmental issues concerning how money connects those matters. Our hosts, Mr. Ted Harvey Sr. and Mr. Edward Bishop III, are now taking each of you into our world of money and its value, along with the evils that come from the greed of hoarding financial power. He that controls the gold controls the important decisions in this world.
All right, we are on the air here. We want to welcome all of you all to our Ted-Ed TV channel on a Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. So we are hoping that each one of all you all who are coming in to see us live will enjoy the show, and the people who won't be able to see us live, it will be out there on our YouTube channel for you all to look at it anytime you get ready. I just finished up putting our Saturday broadcast out there.
It was pretty good, Ed. Pretty good.
Yeah. So we got that one done. And so it takes me about 2 or 3 days to sit down and really start working on those broadcasts and make sure that they're out there. But we've got about 74 or 75 recorded programs out there. So our library is getting very large, and we're hoping that you all come out there and you all look at us. And also I put those links and stuff to those broadcasts and stuff on Facebook. So you go out there and look at Ted-Ed TV channel on Facebook and click onto it, and you'll be able to see it. So
yeah, we want to welcome our viewing audience, for now and even in the future. And we got a fantastic show today. We're gonna really dig in. It's a lot of stuff on the news, crazy stuff going on, but some serious things that we need to talk about. And one of the biggest things, and what made me bring this up, Ed, one of the things is the voter suppression and ID law. Gene, I'm trying to think of his name, but he comes on MSNBC all the time. He's a journalist for the Washington Post. And
yeah, I know him.
Yeah. And
his name is Eugene Robinson.
Eugene Robinson.
Guy.
Yeah, and he is very good. I read an article about all the things that it's almost like he was just purging himself. He was just ranting, and he just went down the line of all the craziness that's been going on. And one of the things that he said, vote. That was the biggest thing that he was talking about, voting. And the one thing that he talked about is voter suppression and ID laws and those types of things. And just want to bring to your attention, this thing about voter suppression, all of this stuff is real. And as well as these ID laws. Now, the ID laws have really took over 4 or 5 different states. We got Wisconsin, Virginia, Arkansas, and Georgia, and Indiana, Kansas, Mississippi. You have to have a photo ID to vote in those states.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me tell you a story that I just read. In Wisconsin, 45 won that state by just 23,000 votes, nearly 23,000 votes. You know how many people was turned down to vote in that state? 45,000. 45,000 people. They said upwards of almost 20,000 in Milwaukee and Madison was turned down. So there you go. And they said Governor Walker did 33 election changes. And one of the changes that he did, he changed the voting time from 30 days to 12 days. Now, if that's not voter suppression, I don't know what it is.
Well, Ted, getting back to what Eugene Robinson said, and you were listening to him on MSNBC, and we know that this voter suppression is going on, but there are tools and there are things that we can do as voters to offset what's going on. Because if our voting bloc had went out there and voted in the first place, starting in 2010, when it really got bad, when the Republicans they took over a bunch of state legislative offices and stuff and everything, and a bunch of governorships because people did not go out and vote. And this is just a product and stuff of what happened and stuff then. So it's very, very important for you to get back out there, because most of these people and stuff, they have already attained these offices already, and they want to keep their jobs, and they're going to do anything they can to keep their jobs. So we have to figure out ways and stuff to get around what they're doing, because you can't take every state to court. You can only take just a few on the court, and by the time you get a decision and stuff, the election is over and you've lost and you've done a lot of things. So sometimes you have to go out and be very, very proactive. And if you want to be a voter or a candidate and stuff out there who's running for office, you have to, your main priority when you become a candidate and you are elected in the primary to be the representative and stuff for your particular political party, your main job for your volunteers and people who are with you is GOTV, and that is called Get Out the Vote. And you have to be proactive with getting out your vote. If you know that your state and stuff requires you have an ID, then make sure your voters have an ID.
And make sure your registration card is
absolutely. You got to do all those. You have to be proactive. You have to go out early. And I read some articles, and you talked about a bunch of states that create some problems and stuff, but you forgot about your own state of Florida and what your governor and stuff has been doing down there.
He's been
purging these people off the voting rolls and everything. And some of these other states and stuff who are purging people off the voting rolls, like Ohio. And Ohio had the same thing going on that Wisconsin did. They cut out Sunday voting right after Obama won 2008. The Secretary of State there decided that he wanted to cut out Sunday voting because they realized that the Democrats were using Sunday to go to churches and stuff to get the pastors and the preachers and stuff to have their people to go out and vote on Sunday. So they said, well, we're not going to do this anymore. So the Secretary of State changed the laws and everything. There's no more voting on Sunday. You have to go out on Monday. So they, in essence, what they were doing was they were suppressing the vote. But if you know this stuff is going on, then you have to get out there and vote and get your people and stuff into office and stuff. And so be proactive about going out there and doing what you're doing. Your people down there in Florida, somebody should be out there now trying to get their people and stuff out there to find out, was their name purged off the voting rolls? They're not going to tell you that they took your name off. You have to get out there and find out. You have to go online. You have to go down to your precinct and everything, or to your county seat office and stuff, and look at the voting rolls and make daggone sure your name is on there. And then another thing that can happen and stuff is that you have a period and stuff where there's early voting. Before you enter your major election, there's an early voting period time. Take advantage of that early voting period time, because when you get into that early voting period time, your local offices and stuff who hold these elections, who are being empowered and stuff and everything, because they want their people to win, to stop you from voting. So they're going to bring up all kind of roadblocks in front of you to vote. But if you go out there and you early vote, or you do your mail-in ballots and everything, it's very, very, very hard for them to stop you from voting. They won't have to worry about doing provisional ballots and stuff for you and all that. So early vote, get out there and do your due diligence. You have to, if you're going to get your candidates and stuff in office.
This is a warfare, man. I mean,
it is.
Think about it, because see, they know if they get themselves in office, all they're going to do is this is all about money. I mean, this is the big deal. This is why we talk about money connection. Follow the money. Keep up with the money, because when they get in office, they're going to trigger that money to where they want to send it to. They're not going to send it to the black neighborhood. They're not going to send it to the poor neighborhoods. They're not going to send it. All of that money is going to certain areas, because right now the Tampa alone, city of Tampa and Tampa. I mean, I don't know what the population is, but $1 billion budget. That's a lot of money. $1 billion budget. So there you go. You got these. They throwing around billions like it ain't nothing, like your president. $12 billion payout bribe to.
Hey man,
come on,
hey, you got to buy the vote and shoot. Them farmers in the Midwest, farmers and stuff are pissed at everything because of these tariffs and everything. These Chinese and Canadians and all the other folks out there, they have targeted that Midwest block of voters and everything. Those farmers and stuff who have these huge fields of soybean and corn. They're not going to buy that stuff. They're going to buy it from some other country like Brazil or some places like that. So they're losing out on, and that $12 billion that we're talking about, Ted, it's just a drop in the bucket and everything and stuff for you. So it's aid. And when you start talking about giving people $12 billion, okay, we got $12 billion to offset you. Well, most of those farmers know that when that money is still sitting out there, they have to apply to get the money. So along with going out there and working their behinds off every day, making sure that they have a crop and stuff out there, that the bugs don't eat the thing up, that the weather and stuff is okay, and that they can get out there and then be able to get their crops and stuff out of the field before winter hits, before they soybeans and stuff gets soggy or whatever. Then they got to store this stuff into these big silos and everything, and use these gas dryers and stuff. All that stuff, Ted, costs them money. They have to pay for their farm equipment, and most of them combines and stuff, man, they upwards to almost $1 million for some of the pieces of equipment and stuff and everything. So the banks and stuff, they're looking to get their money and everything. So when you take $12 billion and stuff and throw it out there amongst about 10 or 12 Midwestern states and stuff who really are going to be affected and stuff by it, man, it's just a drop in the bucket and stuff. That $12 billion, it's not even nothing. But Trump did that because his Republican friends and stuff told him, hey, man, you doing this tariff thing, it's hurting us. And they're doing it at the wrong time because election is coming up and people are going to be voting their pocketbooks.
Well, let's look at it like this. We've been having an emergency crisis. I'm talking about black folks for years in our neighborhoods, everywhere. It's amazing. We found $12 billion just like that. Just like that.
Right.
We can't get $500 million for loans. We can't get $500 million for loans. Or I should say $500 million. That's $500 million for loans. I think last year it was like $300 and something million that was issued out to black businesses. So
what is the difference, Ted, between what we are doing and what those farmers are doing? We got one thing that we have that's common, but it's uncommon.
I don't know. Tell me.
Just like we just talked about, them farmers vote. We don't vote. You don't get out there and vote. You can't. They're not gonna give you money to do anything with. Just like you spoke about. They got all this money out there, and they're in control of that money because these people vote. If you are a voter and they know you're gonna be going to those polls and stuff and voting them in office, doing whatever needs to be done, they're going to make absolutely sure that you get a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
Because you vote. Them farmers, them Republican farmers and conservative farmers, They go to those polls and vote, and then Republicans know it, and they cannot afford them not going to the polls and vote. And then when they do go vote, they want them to vote for their Republicans and stuff so they can stay in office, okay? Because as you know, those smaller states and stuff, they may not have a lot of representation and stuff in the House, but they control that Senate and stuff and everything, because even the small states like South Dakota and North Dakota, and they only got maybe 1 million people in the whole state, but they got 2 senators that they can depend upon and stuff in that Senate and stuff to cast their ballots and stuff for whatever they want to be done. So in essence and stuff, these smaller states are controlling these big states, because no matter how big the state is, how many people in there, you only get 2.
Yeah, that's it.
So
and that right there, a lot of them, they might have like 3, 4, 5 million people in these little smaller. I mean, the land is plentiful, but it's just that the population is not that much. When you go to California, you got over almost 40 million.
Yeah.
Here you got Florida got over 30 million. New York got pretty close to 20 something million or over. So, Illinois got quite a few people. And, but the point is that to me, that is not right.
It isn't, but that's the government, Ted. That's something that we have to deal with. And if you've got, it's almost like playing basketball. You know how it is basketball. You go and these boys is big and stuff in the game, man. You look down there and they ducking the ball and everything. So, oh man, we got to play these boys here and everything. But you have to find a way to win, because if you got these great big guys out there playing, then what are you going to do? You're going to go out there and make a game plan to beat them. So you're going to use speed to beat those big men. You take that and use speed. You stop their ball. You press their ball going down the field. You find ways to beat these guys and stuff who are bigger than you are or faster than you are, whatever. So the same thing is going on in politics and stuff here. You have to find a way and stuff to win the game. And
I agree.
And one of the things that you did, one of the things you have to do, you have to vote, and then you have to stay proactive and stuff when you vote. If you get your person in office and stuff, you still got to stay active. You can't just, oh man, so-and-so and so-and-so, he's in office now. You're going to go back home and sit down and wait on them to give you something. That don't work. That money is still going to them people who are reliable voters, who stay proactive. If you don't do that, you're not doing yourself any good if you're out there voting and stuff.
One thing I can say about Tampa, cliquish is not the word. It's just that they're homey is not the word neither, but they're sort of like they got little groups. And they all sort of kind of saying the same thing, but you got Black Republicans, you got Black progressives, and then you have the militants, like Black Lives Matter and all of that, and then you have these in between people that just concern citizens, and every once in a while you'll see them. They come on the radio shows. They talk about what's going on, and they do sort of kind of fight, but they are really realizing now that they're not getting the piece of the pie in certain arenas, in certain sectors. So, and they're really trying to be more engaged. A lot of people are getting more and more engaged, and I think these cities are realizing that. That you do have to. That's the reason why a lot of right now you have more Black women running for office now, man. You got a Black governor. I mean, Black woman is running for governor, right, in Georgia. Absolutely. And so what I'm saying is that you got a lot of Black women, period, that is running for office, and people are sick and tired of these. I'm just gonna say it: older white men running things. Because all they're doing is looking out for themselves, and they're playing that okey doke game, that crony game. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. But then, some of these women, they're doing the same thing, So, but the bottom line is that you can get the right person in there. I don't care what gender they are or what race they are, and they're doing the right thing, or what party. If they're saying, hey, we're going to do everything we can to uplift this community because this is what you want, and you help put me in office, then that's good, because we're going to funnel some of that money over to you so that we can beautify your streets, so that we can bring businesses in your community. So,
and again, you got to stay on top of those politicians, buddy. Once you get them in office, you got to stay on top of them. Now, you spoke about women and stuff who are in politics and everything and stuff right now. You are right. These old white men and stuff been running politics for ages, ever since I'm a little boy. But it's time for a change. But when you start talking about taking them out of their jobs and stuff, they're going to fight.
Oh, that's what they're doing now, bro.
They can, man. They're not gonna give up. They're going to see the power and stuff to a woman. I don't care who they are, whether they're Republican or Democrat. They're not gonna do it.
Black or white.
Yeah, black or white. They're not gonna do it. It's just this. They're not gonna do it. But you have to force them to do that, and you have to make sure that when these women and stuff get in office, if you get them into office and they get to start voting, doing the things that you need for them to do and everything, that they don't do the same thing that the white men and stuff have been doing for years, and forget about the voters and stuff out there.
Because there's a lot of people out there with money, man, with the toss it at them.
It is, and the women.
You get the good life. You get to get invited to all these nice parties and
absolutely. They come out there and you going down there and you seeing money all over the place, and these women thinking they got a lot of money coming, and they can change their mind too. So you have to stay proactive and stuff on top of it.
Temptation is really out there, man.
It is a bad actor there. We just last year elected here in Atlanta and stuff. They have a female black mayor, and she just came in office. She worked very hard and stuff doing it. Got a lot of white people to come out and stuff and vote for her and everything. But I just noticed in the news and stuff that they're talking about her travel expenses and stuff. She has been in office a year, and now you've got people out there who looking at her. Oh, you paying too much for your transportation and stuff. As the mayor of the city of Atlanta, she should be able to ride in a limousine just like all the other folks are doing, riding limousine for her protection.
Yeah.
They don't want to. It's her budget. She went over $12,000 and stuff in a 4-month period of time paying for transportation, and everybody now is in a big uproar because she did that. Hell, Trump's spending millions of dollars and stuff a day to be traveling around, and nobody said a word about that. But that's the kind of pressure and stuff that they put upon our women and stuff once they get into office.
Or anybody of color, for sure.
There's a different standard and stuff that they put before them and stuff. So we have to be aware of that. Now, you spoke about the black lady and stuff who's running for the first black woman and stuff to even
get the nomination,
be nominated and stuff to be a governor of a state and everything, and her to have the possibility and stuff of winning the state of Georgia and becoming the first black governor and stuff ever.
That's a big deal.
It's a very, very, very big deal, and
they say it's one of the highest price ever. I don't know how true that is. Is it?
She's getting a lot of people and stuff are coming at her and stuff and giving her monies and doing some things and stuff for her. She has a decent chance, Ted, and stuff of doing it, but those cards have to fall just right for her. And right now they're falling for her. The Republicans and stuff just yesterday had their runoff and stuff for the Republican nominee for governor. And the guy who won, man, this guy crazy, man. He had an ad out during the primary where he had a great big old truck, and he telling people, I'm gonna take my truck and go around and pick up all the illegal aliens and load them up and take them back across the border. Him and his son were out in another hat, and they had their shotguns and stuff holding them up. So we gonna make sure that the NRA and all other people can be able to use their guns and their rifles, and they can hunt and do whatever they want to do. Man, this guy
lost his mind. Lost his mind.
He is nuts, man. But he only won because the other guy who ran against him, he was the lieutenant governor. Mm-hmm. And being the lieutenant governor and stuff and everything, you are set, to be able to take the nomination because you were second in command already. They voted you as lieutenant governor, so somebody had to vote for you. So he should have beat him, but he didn't. Because guess what happened? 45 a week ago came out and endorsed that man. Mm. He won this. Kemp won by a landslide. 45 endorsed him and sent Mike Pence down here the Monday before the election and everything, and they had a fundraiser downtown Atlanta there somewhere, and he running around there hugging him all up and everything, and man, he cagled. He cleaned his clock. But so it gives her an advantage and stuff now because you're looking at a man that, he's done some crazy things and stuff, and I don't know how she's going to portray this craziness and stuff about him and be able to convince people that they need somebody who's a governor and stuff of the state and everything who got their mind together and everything. They're going to represent the state of Georgia and stuff in a manner and stuff that's in a professional manner, and not just running around here with a daggone pickup truck and everything, talking about he gonna take illegal immigrants and stuff down there and throw them across the border or whatever. That is absolutely crazy and stuff, and that's an embarrassment and everything to our state. But you don't know about these Republicans down here, man. It is I don't know. It's all up to the get out to vote effort and stuff on her part. Can she get her people out to vote, white and black and Hispanics and stuff? She has to get them out to vote. If she can't get them out to vote, she's not going to win. Yeah. So, she had, but I'm telling you, Ted, the cards are falling her way. I don't know, for some reason or another, they're falling her way. Yeah. So we hoping that she might be able to do this and everything. But if she doesn't and stuff, it's only because, how the Republicans are. They're going to vote for a pig to go in office before they vote for a Democrat. So, and then her being a black woman, I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you one thing whose cards is falling their way. And that's the Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump.
Oh, man.
Because, man, they got the money connection. Because now there's a president that was working as an advisor for 45 of the name of I was just reading this article, Apollo Global Management. And they lent the Kushner family $184 million. But he was an advisor to 45. And right after he got in office, they lent them $184 million. Kushner also, Jared, got something like 500, almost 500, 300, 400, whatever it was, $1 million from China. Plus Signature Bank, he got over 140 million, 200 million, 200 and almost 71 million, Signature Bank. So this man then borrowed down there, well, pretty close to $1 billion. And he buying up property all over Manhattan. Now he's very well educated. He's got a law degree. He also got a business degree, and all of that. But the man ain't even 40 years old. And how you gonna be all of a sudden now you can get all this money, this type of money? Just like that? Now we know that his wife, they claim that they're worth anywhere between 240 million to 740 million. So I'm saying to myself, and I'm looking at, here we are. I mean, any business person that's trying to, you got to prove yourself that you can pay the money back or whatever. These people don't pay the money back. They borrow more money and then they get a line of credit. And then they just keep the loans and then they just pay the loans and what have you. And then they end up selling the property to somebody else for profit. So, that's ultimate right there, because the fact is that's privilege, man. That's cronyism. That's what that's all about. That's what's wrong with capitalism today. Greed, not fair. I was listening to Martin Luther King's speech the other day that he did obviously some time ago, but he was talking about capitalism. And he said, capitalism, let me tell you something. When you use free labor for over 200 years to build up your businesses, because cotton was king then, and you use all these black people, millions of black people picking cotton for you, and you use that commodity to make your millions. You use the slavery to build your big mansions. And now you have these farmers that give them $12 billion. But every year you got farmers out there that got these free land. They came over here, these Europeans came over and got free land, and they paid them hundreds of thousands of dollars for not farming. Not farming. Now, Martin Luther King said back in 67, 66, he said this, 67. He said, no, they said capitalism, they want us to be capitalists, and they want to be, they're on welfare. That's what's happening. They get all this free money. They don't have to fill out no application. They probably fill out a little application and here's $100 million or here's $50 million. You want to buy that property? No problem. And we can't even go out there and get a $500,000 loan to invest in a building or something. You got to go through all kind of channels, and you got to make sure every T is crossed, every I is dotted.
You don't own the bank.
Well, the thing is, they knew somebody from the bank. They don't own the bank. Well, I put it like this: Signature Bank. Ivanka was on the board.
Hey.
She was on the board, and she was making over $100,000 on the board every year.
Hey, that 100,000, man, shoot, they playing her cheap.
Well,
you get more than that.
When you're on the board, what do you meet? When you're on the board, how many times you meet? Once a month?
About 2 or 3 times a year.
All right then. So
okay, but they got people who on boards and stuff. Hell,
you're talking about major corporations.
Michelle Obama gets what, $5 million for sitting on some boards and stuff.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Signature Bank is basically a small, mid-sized bank. This ain't no major bank. This is like a lower than a mid-sized bank.
They got enough money to coming in to just loan Kushner $180 million, so they can't be
over
too
$180
small.
million.
Okay, then they can't be too small.
That ain't no money. That ain't no money.
They can't be too small. But anyway, you was talking about Kushner there, and I left myself a little note there. You forgot about what they did to UAE.
Okay.
United Arab Emirates. You remember what they did to them? You don't remember?
Refresh my memory.
Okay. Last year, Kushner had that building and stuff on 66 and something in New York.
666.
That huge building that he had bought, and they were in the hole almost $1 billion. He had a note due for $1.5 billion. And he didn't know if he was going to be able to do it. He had bought the building and stuff. His family bought the building to renovate it. but the cost of renovation got so much that he just couldn't handle it. And they were getting ready to foreclose and stuff on the building. So he went, just like you said, to China and some of the other folks and stuff, asked them for the money and stuff and everything to bail him out. Well, none of them did that then, but he went to Saudi Arabia, and they were fighting the United Arab Emirates country and stuff there. And what happened and stuff, Trump allowed, he went back and told his stepfather, his father, what was going on, his father-in-law, that they were having problems with him. So you remember that they arrested all those people from the United Arab Emirates and everything, and they picked them up, put them in jail and all that, because these people got a lot of money, because they got oil money. Well, Kushner had already asked them to loan him about $600 billion. Well, they told him no. So now all of a sudden, they are allowing the Saudi Arabia to go over there and invade that country. Well, and when all this other stuff had happened, they had did all that stuff to these folks over the United Arabs. So I guess United Arab called them back up and told Trump and them, said, yeah, we're going to give you that money. And all of a sudden, they ran Saudi Arabia out of United Arab and everything is okay. So he got almost $600 million from United Arab Emirates, whatever they call them, UAE. So you forgot about that. You forgot about that.
And these politicians ain't doing nothing.
Yeah,
they sit there and you know, these politicians
didn't say a word, and it was all on the news and stuff. Rachel Maddow was talking about it. Lawrence O'Donnell was talking about it. All of them were talking about what the heck had happened over there. Then all of a sudden, the war ended over there. They Saudi Arabia left that country and released the leaders and stuff of that country and stuff back to go where they go, and all of a sudden they give them a loan and stuff for $600 million. So that other little money you talking about just a drop in the bucket compared to what they got out of him. So he got a heck of a lot more and stuff out of those people than is heard of. And so now all of a sudden he and his wife, Ivanka, and stuff, their words, like you said,
stepped up. They just stepped it up. That's all. They just stepped it up.
Over there and held on folks' hostage until they gave them some money, which is illegal. Illegal. But anyway, getting back to Ivanka and stuff now, I guess they have enough money now. Her daddy is loading them up with money. And they got deals and stuff going on all around the world and stuff. And it looks like he might be able to build his resort hotel there in Russia. Eventually, you're going to be able to get that hotel over there because it looks like he's giving Putin everything he needs. So he might be able to get his hotel built. So don't be surprised if they start saying, well, they got a Trump Tower and stuff over there in Moscow.
I already know what's going to happen. What was the Secretary of State before the one we got now? He was over Exxon.
Oh yeah.
Exxon getting ready to go over there now, bro. That's what's gonna happen.
Well,
Exxon's going over there.
Well, Exxon's already been there. Yeah, they already had agreement. They already had agreement with Putin, man. They had something
they wouldn't let him. They wouldn't let him.
Yes, they did, Ted. Before he became the Secretary of State and everything, Exxon had already went over there and put and negotiated a deal with Putin.
I know that, but they wouldn't let him because of the they put on sanctions on him. They wouldn't let him. That's what I'm saying. President Obama would not let them, and that's the big deal. And that's the whole thing. That's the card in the ace, because that right there, they've been trying to get over there for the longest. They're already in Chad, but now they want to go over in Russia, and they want to get all that oil and all that gas over there. Check it out. I'm telling you.
I'm getting ready to look it up right now. You see me with my phone in my hand. I'm getting ready to look it up and make sure.
Bro.
Because
sanctions,
from what I was reading, they had already had a deal going on.
No, they might have had the deal, but President Obama wasn't allowing it. They wasn't allowing it. So while you're looking that up, check this out. This is a negative story here. Oh man, that's my man Ed Lee too.
Go ahead.
Hey, Ed Lee. How you doing, man? Can I call you in about 15 minutes? Let me call you back I'll be done in about 30 minutes.
Audience, look at this guy right here. He wants to take a phone call before he sits down there and talk to his audience. Man, Ted,
I apologize.
You dogging our audience out.
that was our old friend Ed Lee, man. I could not pick that up.
I don't even want to talk about Eddie Lee. Attorney Lee.
But here's something that we can switch gears on right quick. The stock market. Now you mentioned something about the first $1 trillion company. Of course, you talk about Amazon, obviously.
Well, Amazon just came into the picture because most people for a whole year or so were talking about Apple becoming the first $1 trillion company. Well, Amazon has done took off, man. They done came from back to third or fourth place and everything. Now they are almost neck and neck here with Apple becoming the first $1 trillion company. And it looks like Amazon might make it before Apple does.
Amazon, man, they got so many games they playing, man. It's
they
ridiculous.
Got some money that they putting out there, bud, and people are going online, Ted, every day. Millions of folks are going online and using their service and everything to buy everything they need, from clothes, shoes, computers, even their food, dog food. I have people who work for the post office and everything, and they still are taking orders and stuff from Amazon's people and everything, and they're delivering that stuff to their customers and everything. And one of them, my daughter told me that she has about 4 or 5 customers and stuff in her area where she drives her delivery and stuff too, and they get dog food every 2 or 3 weeks. Then they order it from Amazon.
Wow.
Yeah, she had to put dog food in the back of her delivery truck. But everything now, even food, man, you got food that's coming into them, and now they even bought Whole Foods and everything. Oh, Jeff Bezos, man, he is wielding a lot of power. That's why several weeks ago when Trump was talking about he was going to beat Jeff Bezos down, I knew that wasn't going to last very long. You don't haven't heard no more about him bothering Amazon at all.
Boy, I got too much money.
This man wields a lot of power, and he has shot past Bill Gates and stuff so fast that it's unheard of. I remember 6 or 7 months ago, this man was like worth about $90 billion. Now he worth $150 billion. Yep. So Amazon got to be doing very well.
And he'll snatch out, and one thing I got to give him, he'll snatch out $1 billion quick.
Oh, man. That doesn't even bother him. He'll
sell that stock and buy what he want to buy and do what he want to do.
And it's still going up. And he got this what they call it, Blue Angel or Blue something he got, where they getting ready to get them a spaceship to take people to the moon.
That's right.
And he's got people investing in that stuff. $300,000 for a seat on the spaceship to go to the moon that he hasn't even built yet.
Why? Why?
Because he got money and they believe in him. They got people out there who want to stay in tight with him. If you got money and stuff, people are going to come to you. They're going to give you stuff, just like they did Elon Musk when he started building these electric cars and stuff, these Teslas, Model 3s or whatever. When he first started talking about building these things, man, he had almost 500,000 people who paid their money up front for the car, and it hadn't even been built yet.
That right there is power there. That's power there.
Power, man. That's money power. You around people who got money, they're going to give you money. And, we just, it's just, if you got money, you're going to make more money. Yeah. I have an article and stuff that I put out that people are they should be able to read and stuff. I'm putting it all together. I guess a 2-part thing about how these funds and stuff out there, these mutual funds and stuff or whatever, are taking their money and they're putting it into these payday lender stores and stuff all over the country. And there's one firm and stuff, I'm trying to think of their name. They own about 450 of these things, and most of these payday lenders and predatory lender stores and stuff are in our community. And not only in our community, they are also in poor white communities and stuff also. And they're ripping these people off, man. They sell it. They're giving them loans, man, for 33% interest. Some of them are 50% interest. And if they don't pay the loan off, they take them to court and everything. And by the time they get done, man, they just rip these people off. Big time. It is unbelievable what they're doing. And most of these people who are doing this have so much money that they don't know what to do with it. So they are investing their money and stuff into these funds and stuff, who their job and stuff is to go out there and run these payday lending stores and stuff.
That's just like you said, they have so much money, and they don't know what to do with it, just like they invest in jails. Mm-hmm. And these people that's looking to make money off of money, which I understand, and that's what you should do. But then sometimes you got to have, that's why I'm saying capitalism is sad, because you got these people don't have any conscience. You only got a few people that's got some conscience, and they invest their money into the right things. Instead of them investing in the right things as far as helping people where you can make money, invest in people. Here you are investing in people, but you're ripping off people. You sit up here putting people in jail on BS, making up charges so that you can fill up the jails.
Absolutely. And then some of these people who were interviewed and stuff during this whole series and stuff that I'm going to be putting out there, one of the guys said, hell, I might as well borrow my money from a gangster. I got a better rate. Sure. So before we get done, Ted, I want to make sure that because we're getting close to the end. We only got about 10 or 12 minutes and stuff to go here. You said something about stand your ground. I wanted to hear what you had to say about that.
Well, it's been all over TV because it happened in radio. It happened in Clearwater. And this young 25-year-old black man had went into the convenience store with his son, and he heard a whole lot of loud talking, and he heard his girlfriend's voice. And she was sitting in the car, and their other 2 kids were sitting in the back. And when he walked out, this guy was berating her and up in her face. And so when he heard that, he went out and he pushed the guy, shoved him, and he fell on the ground. As soon as he fell on the ground, the guy pulled out of his pocket a gun and shot him dead. And they said it was stand your ground. And that's the big thing. Everybody's saying, well, it looked like he was taking 2 steps forward after he knocked him down. And he was in a what you call a one of those senior parking situations. And this guy has been harassing people that does that. Anybody that parks in without having their ticket. And he would say, you don't supposed to be parking there, and he'll harass people. He was calling this girl everything but a child of God, from my understanding. And so he went out there and he heard that. Now they're talking about the guy had a record.
Which one had a record?
The one that he killed.
Mm.
He killed the black man, and now they're putting all this out there talking about, he had some charges and what have you. I heard this one radio guy say, which it was surprising me because he's supposed to be a conservative radio. He said, "Hey, 70% of Americans in this country got a record that had something, went to jail about something." So, but why would they bring that up? But the thing is, now the sad part about it, man,
to justify what the man did, they have a justification.
That man should be in jail because, number one, he was out of order because it ain't your job to be the police officer. Yeah, they made a mistake by parking in the doggone parking thing that they shouldn't have parked in. But the bottom line is that I don't know, man. That's the reason why you got to be calm, cool, and collective as best you can. What they should have did was call the police themselves on him. And that's what they should have did instead of going out there taking on yourself. I know that the first instinct that you want to do is protect your wife, but as long as he didn't put his hands on his wife, he just said some negative things, and the kids was sitting right there listening to him, and she was, of course, probably talking to him back.
Mm-hmm. Very excited and everything, and it had gotten out of hand already before he came out there. So
yeah, it was out of hand.
And he got into the heat of what was going on without really thinking. Like you said, sometimes you, in your zeal to protect your family and everything, you do some things and stuff that you turn around and regret and stuff later. But I guess he can't regret now because he's no longer here on this earth.
Yeah, and there's 3 kids that don't have a father.
Absolutely, and a wife who doesn't have a husband.
Right.
And
that was his girlfriend, but still, you might as well call him a wife. They living together and all that.
Got 3 kids, yeah. So, and that goes to show you and stuff, Ted, that we get back to that first subject that we talked about, them voting and stuff and everything, putting people in office and stuff, and those local state's attorney's office and stuff who will prosecute people and stuff and everything for incidents and stuff like this instead of saying it's okay.
Yeah, because number one, the guy it's not like this is the first time that he did this. He's not a police officer. Mm-hmm. He ain't no business doing that, and that's not. That's he out there looking for something.
Mm-hmm. No, he's almost not another Trayvon Martin thing here. It's you have to have people and stuff and everything who are in those justices' offices. The people who are in charge of their law and order and stuff there, who are people who understand this stuff, things that man, it's
that's. I mean, man, I was sick all day yesterday, man. My heart was heavy.
I didn't know. I didn't know all this had happened and everything and stuff. I didn't know that his children was there in the back of the car and stuff.
His children, one of his boys was right next to him.
And watch their dad get killed and stuff like that for nothing, and then nothing happened to him. So what does that tell his children and stuff? Say it's okay for you to kill a black man. It's my daddy got killed, and nothing happened to this man who killed my father.
That's right.
It's
So you got State Senator Shaw. He's a black guy. Trying to, he's putting the argument out there. I think he's running for Senate, I'm not mistaken. But he's arguing about repealing it, but we've been, they've been talking about that for a couple of years now, stand your ground thing, and when you have a person that's running for governor, and when he was in charge of issuing concealed weapons, he didn't bother even get applications and stuff like that. The guy that's running for governor now, and now it's millions of people now in Florida that's got concealed weapons now, licenses. Mm-hmm. So, and that's sad, man. People, vert to, killing people. I understand people want to be protected and all that, but if you're that scared, or afraid, that's sort of kind of like a mental thing to me. Mm-hmm. You walk around and you're afraid of something. That means you've done something wrong. But anyway, let's change the subject, man, because this is a hot topic. Online phishing.
Wow. Man, I have been involved with this, Ted, with a lot of my friends, especially in my family, how these people are using uh, their online presence to take money from people illegally. I just had an article and stuff that I read and stuff about how what that the law out there is trying to stop these people from taking folks' money because these people are targeting these hackers or whatever you want to call them are targeting older people or maybe even middle-aged people and stuff, people who are unknowing about what's going on out there. I've had friends. I had my sister. She was taken twice for $200. The first time she did it, she gave these people this money, and because they got on her computer and they sent this message across her screen and says that she needs to call this number because her computer is getting ready to go apart and this is in bad shape and we got some doing and Microsoft wants you to call this number. And she dialed this number and the man told us, okay, we can fix this problem and stuff for you, but we need $139 and stuff to do it. And it would take care of her computer for a whole year. So he got her card number, took the $139 from her and everything and told her what anybody else would tell her anyway. Shut the computer off, and then we're going to work on it. And in about 10 minutes, turn it back on. She did it. The computer came back on, and everything was fine.
So they fixed my TV.
When I went to see her and everything, she told me, she said, yeah, Edward, I had a problem with my computer. And this guy told me, and he said this. I said, Weena, you just got took. He just took you. You were taken. I said, when something happened, I told you if something happened with your computer, call me and we'll straighten it out. Quit doing that. 2 years later, Ted, she did it again. He called her up and told her something, and she decided to give that man her credit card number. This time he took $200 because he told her that her computer would be covered for 2 years. This stuff, Ted, is crazy, man. These people out there are targeting folks and everything. You figure that in a day, most of them are going to be able to do at least 100 or 200 people, be able to contact them. Some of these people are going to not do anything with them, or some of them not going to have any money.
I got a call last week.
I
got a call last week.
Yeah.
I was driving and I picked up the phone because usually, you get all these solicitors. So I just picked up the phone and the guy said, hello. And he, sounded like he'd come from another country. And he said, I understand you got a problem with your computer. I said, how do you know I got a problem with my computer? Who are you? And why are you calling me? Because ain't nothing wrong with my computer. He hung up.
Well, they are getting more sophisticated now. My wife and stuff, she just got a text message and everything from someone out there, and they sent her a message and stuff, and I read it, and it says something about the IRS is getting ready to get her, and it is official sounding stuff, Ted. I'm telling you, it sounds absolutely official. And they're telling her to call this number and everything, and they're going to help her to get through this because they are coming after her. They're going to take her home or car and all that stuff, everything. So if she did not know, like I know, because I talk to her all the time, the IRS is not going to call you. And we want our audience to know this and stuff. And you guys who are listening to this broadcast, the IRS is not going to call you. They are not going to send you a text message. Microsoft does not call you. Apple, any of those companies, they don't call you. You call them. That's how they get their customers. That's how they do. And the IRS will never call you. They communicate by paper. They're going to send you a letter. If they got a problem with anything you're doing, you are going to get a letter from them, and then they will give you a number for you to call them. Or they will send you a detailed letter and stuff telling you why they are wanting this money, or if you didn't pay your taxes or something happened or whatever. They are never going to call you. So if you see people calling you or send you a text message saying the IRS is coming to get you, forget about it. It's not happening. It's not happening. So, and like you said, Ted, there are people out there that these people have ripped off for $10,000 or $15,000 and stuff because they thought that they were from the IRS, and it is not true.
Yeah, so, they just busted a group from India from that, and they was working 4 or 5 states here in this country, and they got a little call center in India. So, and few of them got some nice years, 20 years in jail, 10 years in jail, 3 years in jail, and now they're getting ready to tackle the people over there in the call center. Mm-hmm. So it took them a little while. They started in 2012, and they just got them in 2016.
Absolutely. But during that time and stuff, they have gotten huge sums of money off these people.
Ooh,
you're looking at millions of dollars that they have taken from people and stuff illegally. It has gotten to be a business and stuff for them to do this. And
but you got all of these people like if they call you for your home, talking about your roof and all that kind of stuff, and all kind of crap. You will win $500.
Alarm system, babe. I've got to call me. You need alarm system, or they'll call me up and say you need some insurance. We're gonna get you some health insurance. We're gonna help you do this, help you do that. They've even got people out there, Ted, that they know that they have already been ripped off. And so they call these people up and they say, yep, we found out that you have been taken and this has happened to you. If you send us some money, we're going to help you to recoup your money back.
So they get you again.
They get you again. They get you again because they already just took the money from it. They saw they got the money from it. They call them back up and say,
well, how much you gonna get? So just give me $99 and I'll get your money back.
We're gonna help you to get your money back.
Oh man, that's why you shouldn't. If you don't pick up the phone.
If you don't know who's calling, you don't answer.
Yeah. If you don't even answer it, man. Because these people, man, it's ridiculous.
It is, man. So it's we've gotten to the end of our show, people, and I'm hoping that all of you all who've been listening to this last 5 or 6 minutes that we've been talking about, be aware they are crooks out there, and they will do anything to take your money, and they don't care how old you are or if you don't have any money at all. They're out there to take your money and stuff. So beware. If somebody asking you to give you some money for something, ask somebody else, call a friend up, or call the police up, or call somebody up and ask them, is this thing legitimate? Because most of these people that they're calling, they cannot afford to give these people their money. And these folks do not care. So
nope, absolutely.
Anyway, we enjoyed our telecast today. We're going to see you guys and stuff on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. So Ted, I will see you Saturday. And
all right, bro.
Attorney Lee, that I said hi.
Hey baby, what you trying to do? Spent the night just trying to find you. You the hottest one under the sun, and I'm under your spell. We stuck just like glue. You ain't got the free crib, oh well. You will make it head to the hotel. Whatever we do, just don't tell. I don't need anybody all on my coattail. I feel your energy and I ain't trying to fight it. Your vibe is way too exciting. I know I'm who you wanna ride with. Don't fake it, I know that you like it.
It's more than just emotions. I get it, more emotions. All you gotta do is focus, not what you used to, but you like it. But you like it. Ooh, yeah. I've been out here looking for you. Just something special, man.
Get up on my roller coaster. Get inside my air.